Hello, Ender Sword here again. I was just playing around with this StarCraft 2 master thing and thought it was pretty neat. I actually beat the whole thing and got the achievements and stuff, thinking that maybe it would save a replay and I could do a little video off that showing people how to do each one, but unfortunately no replays or anything like that are saved for it. So I guess I'm going to do each one and then try and cut the video up or whatever. I'm obviously going to fail a bunch of times at some, but I'll just show the ones that worked. I'm just kind of waiting for the GOM TV or GSL site to hopefully come back online. It's supposed to be the night of the finals, but there are none right now. So I figured I might as well get started on this since most people will be doing it in the next day or two, I guess. A lot of the first ones are really simple. So I'll just kind of go over basically what you need to do. This first one, kind of super easy, just a matter of microing around. It's really just a matter of keeping the zealot, making sure that you're closer to the zealot than the guy firing in the middle. That's really all you need to do for it. This is not going to work in a real game or anything like that, but against computer AI, obviously that's the way to go. There's level 1. It's going to make me click each one instead of just taking me through. This one, by the way, my micro is not going to be absolutely pro or anything like that, but these are just basically how to do it. Something like this, you could probably do it faster if you're better at taking corners or you want to micro these a little more individually, but very easy way to do it. You just kind of stay ahead. Well, everyone's going to know this one. Some of them have a bit more of a trick to it, but this one kind of doesn't. You just stay ahead and don't get hit. And for those of you that I guess that don't know stutter step, I'm just kind of assuming that people do know the concept. I'm just kind of clicking a point away, and at some point I'm just clicking stop, and then they turn around and shoot. For a unit like Stalkers, they have a little bit of warm-up time to their weapons, so you can't just click stop and then immediately, or what'll happen is that they'll kind of turn and they won't actually fire. So you need to stop and let them have like half a second to actually do it, or it won't work. But I doubt anyone's going to be confused about that one. See how far it can get, maybe without actually failing. With a lot of these, I just don't like where they put you visually to begin with, because that's just kind of annoying. So there, you just kind of back up into the choke, go on kind of a hold position, and just make sure that you've kind of got this wall going so that the Zerg doesn't surround you. Once I had that set up, I just kind of took my hands off the keyboard. Doesn't really matter. So that's number 3. Focus fire. Oh yeah, this one. I don't know if I'll get this one in the first try, but here it's really just a matter of trying to focus down the zealots. I found this one a tiny bit randomish, because it actually somewhat matters if the zealots focus fire you down too, and the better that they get on one target, it works. I found that you didn't have to really move with this or anything. Yeah, see, if the better they focus you down, it does make a difference. If they kind of spread up all nice, then it works a little better. That's probably too close, but sure. Close enough. That's really it. Just kind of click on one to the other to the other. I didn't have much success like actually trying to move the hydras. They're just too slow on dirt. Zealots are much faster, so it ends up being kind of productive. And this one, I think, is just basic pole micro, you call it. So we go, and as that guy gets hurt, I'm going to pull him away. The spine crawler switches targets, and then I put him back. It doesn't actually switch back. You can actually do that. The first time I did it, you can save both stalkers. This one's actually kind of silly, but the exact positioning does actually end up kind of mattering. Oops. See, that probably won't actually work. No, it's not. Yeah. I'll get him come back up. That one's got a lot of room for error in it, frankly, because that wasn't perfect. Colossus 1. Colossus 1, you just kind of go up and down the cliff, not much to this. Again, it's a form of kind of stutter step. Colossus has a lot of hit points anyway, so again, it's something that just kind of has a lot of room for error in it. You'll find it easier if they kind of don't get split up. You can just kind of stutter step your way around. And like I said, you can actually take a few hits. There's no real harm to it. And again, like I said, a lot of room for error on that one. You don't really need to be too tricky. It just gets used to going up and down a cliff. Safe zone. This one's kind of neat. You can do this one with brute force, but the achievement actually requires you to do it in a fairly specific way. There is actually a tiny bit of room between the two siege tanks that there's like this very slender room that you can actually get hit by neither tank if you're right exactly where you're supposed to be.
You require my skills. Very well.
It took me a couple times because it is very picky actually.
Intriguing. State thy bidding. For a reckoning. As you say. We are one with the shadows.
So on this one, there actually is a little spot right between the two tanks, almost completely in the middle, which makes sense, I guess.
The heart of darkness. Cold is the void.
I'll reset and do that with both stalkers. One neat thing about stalkers that they do, and I've actually done a video about Blink
I am the voice.
a couple months ago, And it's one of the coolest things that I like about the game is actually the whole blink mechanism thing. And one cool thing about it is they actually blink in formation. This one, of course, is based on blinking, and it's called Safe Zone precisely because there actually is that. There is a tiny sliver of space between the two tanks that you can actually position yourself, and in that position, you actually can't be fired on by either tank. So we just kind of come close, blink into that position. I did a video a few months ago all about blink, and they will actually blink in formation. So I line them up like that, blink forward, and they occupy that little space. It is a little picky, so you may have to try it a couple times. There's only kind of a couple millimeters there, but that's basically how you do that one. Whack-a-roach. This one is kind of fun. There is actually an achievement for this. To beat the thing, you have to do it in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Actually, got to reset because it's talking. 1 minute and 10 seconds, but to get the achievement, you have to do it in 45 seconds. So here's kind of how to do that. It's basically just kind of, again, using full micro, but doing it with the burrow. You're going to burrow that down, burrow that down, pop them both back up. So this one, Whack-a-roach. This one's actually a little fun, and there's an achievement on this one. Just to beat the level, you have to do it in 1 minute and 10 seconds, but if you want to get the achievement, you have to do it in 45 seconds. So you have to be efficient with the way you're burrowing if you want the achievement on this one. And that's what I'll go for in this. So you wait until that's low, burrow, but immediately pop back up. Wait until this one's low, burrow, but we've got the Whack-a-roach one here. This one's kind of neat. To beat the round, you have to do this in 1 minute and 10 seconds, but to actually beat it and get the achievement, you have to do it in 45 seconds. So we're going to try and do that. And in order to do that, you have to be really efficient with the way that you're actually burrowing these roaches. So we'll show you what that looks like. So we let one go into the red, burrow it down when it's really close. So the Whack-a-roach one, this is a little bit fun. That you, in order to beat the actual round itself, you have to do it in 1 minute and 10 seconds, but there's actually an achievement on this one that you have to do it in 45 seconds to get the achievement. So you've got to be really efficient with the burrow. We're going to let the red, that go into the red, we immediately pop back up. We highlight both, bring them both down, immediately back up. That way it completely transfers through everything. This Whack-a-roach one is actually pretty fun. In order to just plain beat the round, you have to do this in 1 minute and 10 seconds. But in order to get the achievement on it, you have to actually do it in 45 seconds. So you have to be a little more efficient with the burrow. So I might as well show you how to do that part, just kind of a simple little trick to it. So we light it fire on the first one. As that goes into the red, we pop it. All right, so this is the Whack-a-roach one. This one's actually kind of fun. And in order to beat the round itself, you have to do it in 1 minute and 10 seconds, but there is an achievement to do it in 45 seconds, so you have to be a little more efficient for that, so that's what I'll try and show you. Wait until that gets in the red, and we burrow it, but pop it right back up immediately. Wait until this gets in the red, burrow both, pop them back up immediately. Wait until the thing's burning, all 3 in the red. Let it burn down while we are regenerating our health. Once it is burned down, just focus fire everything. And complete it in 42.4 seconds. So you can even do it a tiny bit faster than that, but you only need 45 for the achievement. So that's how you do it. Ramp control, kind of a neat one. I start by highlighting everything. First thing I'm actually going to do is hold position. Then I'm going to restrict access to the ramp, pull everything back, send the zealots. If you let them actually charge forward, then the other roaches can actually fire up the ramp into them, and we don't want that. Okay, this one, round 10 ramp control. The first thing I'm going to do, highlight everything and actually lock it on hold position before actually dropping the force field down. Going to pull everything back before actually going for it and engaging. You're going to try and pull away. Okay, you didn't get away in time. But you're going to try and do that sort of thing to pull away the injured ones so that they don't take all that damage. This one, ramp control, actually pretty easy. You just have to kind of start with some initial control. I start by kind of highlighting everything, pulling it away while force fielding the ramp, attacking in. If you let them attack too close, then what happens is the roaches can actually attack just right up the ramp like that, and you don't want that at all. Kind of want to focus down one at a time. Again, not perfect here, but there's no achievement linked to this one. You can kind of do it however you want. And there you go. Right, storm and run. This one is a tiny bit finicky. It's hard to actually catch everything in one thing, as you'll see, so it may take you a few tries to do it. As we start, I actually start it running away and dropping it. You have to then pretty much immediately go for it. Right, storm and run. This one again is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. We're going to initially drop a storm. You want it to be a little bit in front of where the Marines are going to be so that everything has to run through it. And you want to get them all clumped up like that. Once they really come too far in the open, they start to spread a bit and you're not going to catch everything. Storm and run, you just drop the storms in front. This one's really pretty self-explanatory. So storm and run is pretty much what it sounds like. The idea is to keep far enough ahead. If they start to get in any sort of range that they're actually firing at you, they're going to start to spread apart to form an arc around you, so you can't let them do that at all. They have to be in single file like that, and even still we miss them. storm and run here, you're going to be the High Templar, just obviously dropping storms and then running away, exactly as it sounds. You want it a little ahead of the clump of Marines, and you can't let them get close enough to even start firing at you, or they're going to start to spread apart and they won't be all caught in the one storm. So storm and run here, we're going to be the Templar storming. You really do have to drop the storm kind of right in front of the Marines and then immediately run away. If they get close enough to you at all to even start firing at you, they start to split apart and someone will be outside the storm. So storm and run here, round 11. Here you obviously just drop the storms pretty much in front of where the Marines are going to be, just a little bit in front of them. You can't let them get close enough to you to start firing at all, or they start to actually split apart and they won't all be caught in the storms. Right, round 11 is storm and run. Here you have to basically catch them with the storm in front of where they're going to be, and you can't let them get close enough to fire on you at all, or they start to actually kind of spread apart. So it's all about just placement and timing, really. Storm and run, this one's really about keeping the Marines in formation. In other words, they can't really fire at you at all, or they start to spread apart as if they're going to form an arc around you. So you really got to be dropping the storm quickly, running away quickly, and then making sure that they all actually die, or you miss the friggin' thing. Okay, round 11 is storm and run. Here it's all about dropping the storm slightly ahead of the Marines, making sure they actually stay in this formation. In other words, they can't actually get close enough to you that they start to fire, or it's not going to work. That's it. The key is always moving away. Don't let them fire, or they're going to spread out outside the range of the storm, and it's not going to work for you. All right, friendly fire here. This one is one that's a little picky. If you're not very precise with the most location, it's not going to work exactly because we are relying on the tank's splash damage. You kind of drop these in the little nooks between the troops so that we make sure that we get maximum splash damage that we're going for. And then the tanks basically destroy themselves. And then your infested Terran. So this one, friendly fire, all about throwing down those infested Terrans and doing some damage with them. You drop them into little nooks between the Marines so that you do cause collateral damage on the Marines, and obviously you want them to end up killing everything. then your infested Terran ends up taking down the final tank. And that's it. It's very picky on the exact location, so it may take a few tries to get that one. Hold position, another one that is basically exactly like it sounds. These zealots, Frank, they're done for, so just forget about them. What we're going to be focusing on is the cannon and the probes. We start with the cannon selected. Go there, hold position. I'm going to try and fill gap if it lets me. And we've got a perfect circle right around the entire cannon. One wing is kind of attacking through. Once you're close enough, you can just attack with the rest of the probes. This one's never an absolutely exact science or anything here, but basically the idea is just throw down some force fields, leaving some gaps for your zealots to do some fighting. This one's just about force fielding out a bit of a swarm here. The idea, you can see the initial formation. You've kind of got zealots on the outside. This side is vulnerable. You kind of want to be making a force field trap around yourself, but giving zealots surface area to be attacking out. So we'll see if we can do that. This one's never an exact science, really. So this one's obviously all about just putting up the force field surrounds, trying to keep the zealots with some surface area, while the wings can't just swarm stuff in the middle. So the force fields here are never really an exact science or anything like that. The idea is to try and leave some gaps where your zealots can actually kind of fight through single file, or at least blocked up, while keeping the ranged units on the middle of this. So we just kind of fire down some force fields. So force fields here, never really an exact science. Obviously, we're just trying to keep things out and keep it from absolutely swarming us. You can do this one exactly where you stand. Some people, I think, would probably go to the sides, but you can just create your own little terrain right there in the middle. Oh, my goodness. All right, interesting.